My name is Brandon. I have a company by the name of Bottleserwick. It's a play on words from bottle service, So paying homage to the drink culture by repurposing the bottles into candles.
Yeah. And how long have you been doing that for? I mean, it's one of those simple things that is like you're just doing it so well that you know what I'm saying. Like there's every now and then there's something will come across and it's like, oh, I could totally do that. And then you see it done, you're like, nah, I can't do
Yeah,
that. So,
it's about 6, 7 months now.
okay.
And when I first started, it was just an idea. Passed it to a few friends. Said, "Hey, I'm thinking of doing something." I'm big on scents. I love getting the compliments for myself. So I said, let me focus on trying to, get into the whole candle thing and making it different. And I think when you challenge yourself to be different, it takes away the fear of, copying someone or not doing as well. And then you end up being
Yes.
original and having something organic. So when I look
Yeah,
over
yeah.
my shoulder and I don't see anyone doing this, whether it's because of the amount of work it takes to do it,
Mhm.
makes me smile. I say, hey, but yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy it's still going and I'm learning. I'm always learning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. There's Jason right there in the chat. Um, so your best success to date and your biggest challenge to date.
It's
Like
funny.
real
I'll
talk.
do that question too, because,
Yes.
but I think biggest success I would say is just getting the feedback that I've always wanted from anyone who's looking to get a candle
Mhm.
or just loves the art, of just
Yeah.
making them and repurposing the bottles. It keeps me going because when I wake up and I have a song in my head, I'm like, okay, what can I do with what I have now, or what do I need to do to put something
Yes.
together that makes that person happy? And
Yes.
right before the new year, right before Christmas, actually, I received a custom order a request from someone who got a house and got engaged and said, hey, I want to turn this bottle into a candle. Can you do it? And I need it
Yes.
like rush. And
Yeah.
the nerves were just gone. I was like, just got to go and get it. And I'm happy I
Mhm.
got it to her right on time for Christmas. So that was heartwarming. She also had a baby, like I think the day before or something. So it was just double double happiness, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good, man. Like that's fun. I back in the day, I had like, friends who, everyone was kind of just getting into their careers, finishing their schooling and stuff. And I had one or two buddies who had started a business, like a web design pro business or whatever. And I was like, man, you're so courageous. Like I had such admiration for people who would just jump out in business. And then they would do their business to a point where it worked them out of their regular job. And
Hmm.
then they were just doing full time. So taking that leap. So um, for you with this, where is it at now, and where do you see it going from a business
Right, right.
perspective?
So, and it's funny that you're mentioning that too, because it's when you tell a few of your friends that you're working on something, and they're like, "You got to drop it now," and you're afraid of just not the perfect products coming out. It's a
Yeah,
definitely have to give it to for just saying, "That's it. We're taking photos. We're posting it online. You catch up." You're
yeah,
not.
yeah. You catch up.
That's
Yes,
that just put me in a different mode where I just had to dissolve these excuses,
hmm,
and I just ran with it and just told myself, every day try to learn something new about this craft so that someone doesn't beat me to the punch to say, hey, you messed up on this or so on. And
yes,
where I think for myself ultimately, there it goes, I've been
yeah.
fancying the world of real estate.
Okay.
And I have a lot of real estate agents reaching out to me and saying, hey, I want to get something for one of my clients, who
Mhm.
wants to buy flowers for someone who pays a couple million for a house or something.
Right.
Thought about it, and it's something I want to get into as well. And I think that's going to be an awesome touch of being someone who is able to, work
Absolutely.
on homes and stuff and enrich someone's life with something that they've dreamed about having and saying, hey, this is a gift
Yeah.
that can last forever and not something you can just.
Yeah. Yes. It's so funny too. Jonathan just came in here. What's going on, man? Um, I go into like brainstorming like mode and like my brain starts to go with these things because I know for my wife, for example, when back in the day she would have a wine and then she'd take the cork and then she'd write down the date on the cork and then she'd throw the cork in like a thing and then that's how they remember like bought their
Mhm.
house or found out they're expecting or whatever it is what was going on in their world at that time.
Hmm.
you're almost doing the same thing with the bottle. Because if I had, we had a bottle of champagne because of, kid
Anniversary, whatever.
graduated, whatever, pass you the bottle, there you go, we have the candle,
Hmm.
and then, the memory lives on in that way. So
And
that's
shout
pretty
out to the
cool.
guys. There's been a few guys have reached out to me about that, anniversary bottles and stuff. And it's been fun because you're doing something, whereas, like, let's say they go to a steakhouse and they get the
Yes.
bottle, and it's like, how do you leave with the bottle without her knowing? And they'd be like, I'm going to be here. Do you want to, I don't know if you're uncomfortable, but like, we're going to be probably leaving like 9:30, and you could just swoop in and get the bottle and stuff. And it's just so like 007
Stealth mode, man.
that it's like, boom, and they're like, this is the bottle, but you didn't leave with it. Oh, it's the guy. So
Yeah,
being a
yeah.
part of that is amazing. And it's also great when you run into them on the street later on, and they're like, hey, do you remember
Yes.
me? So
Right.
those things keep you going.
They do, and it's like one, it keeps you going. Two, it shows like a bigger purpose to what you're doing. It's almost like for all the Pilates people in the space here or the fitness people, you could say, or I've said in the past, like I'm selling time. I'm not selling fitness, I'm selling time because when I do this and help you to feel stronger, then you have more, time with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you go to the doctor and then, your longevity overall is better, or
Quality
all
of
these
life.
different things. So we afford people richer time, more quality time by our exercise. In the same way, when you do these things, you're giving people memories. Like you're not just giving them a candle, you're sparking a memory. You're doing all these different things. So it's almost like you could change your pitch, change your angle, and just really sell an idea and a real kind of warm, fuzzy concept, as opposed to like, go to the dollar store, grab a candle, right?
Right, right. And I mean, it goes deeper than that, because even when I started this and I was looking at cost and everything, you know, it's easy to go and buy a bunch of jars that have no name on them, and fill them
Right.
with wax and make a body style of whatever. And not to knock that, but it's a bit too easy. And it's like, I think someone who's not that artistic and saying, you know what, I can call this art if I'm able to manipulate this glass and make it
Mhm.
look, 10 times better than, this or that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's definitely fulfilling with that. And the wax now, instead of doing, paraffin wax, which isn't good for you when we're talking about quality of life, I'm
Okay.
thinking about all of those things, when I'm
Yeah.
repurposing these bottles to now using, well, always been using soy wax, which
Right, right,
burns
right.
better, and it's not something that's going to get in your lungs and make you feel a certain way. So, without getting into that too much, it's definitely a conscious effort. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely. We can man. I'll dive deep with engineers on stuff that I don't even understand. I'll just smile and nod my way through it, man. Someone watching will be like, yes, yes,
yeah,
soy. That's definitely the way to go.
yeah,
Coach Rich, what's going on? So we got all my entrepreneurs in the space here, and it's so funny, right? Like, I mean, we're talking candles, and actually, I'm sure people are waiting to see. Do you have any examples like right there you can kind of lift up? Because I can't like screen share at this moment. So, do you have
yeah.
anything like right there near you?
Me,
You could just show people what we're talking about.
okay. So, glad you asked. So
Mhm.
here's a Hennessy VSOP,
All right.
and here's the candle, right? So,
Yes. How
something
cool
like
is that,
this,
everybody?
I got, let's see, something like Veuve Clicquot, and there you go.
So sick.
And my favorite, you have the Dom Perignon, and where are you? Boom, here.
Boom.
And this is a lot of fun because, every bottle is different. Every label is different. And I'm able to
Right.
restore this label and make it waterproof. So when it gets in a lot of hands, you don't have to worry about it kind of,
Okay.
rubbing away and stuff. So one of my
Right.
favorites. Yeah.
I saw the Ray and Nephew one too, right? To my Jamaican heritage.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a custom one. And I was like, okay, you like that? Yep,
Yeah.
that's for you then. Okay, no problem. So it's
Nice.
exciting getting those ones. And even like the jumbo, the big bottles. You see the
Okay.
comparison here.
Yeah.
This is something that I usually do every month on the 11th. I have
Okay.
giveaways. So
Oh,
it's
do you? Okay.
attempt to get more followers, but more so just to spread the word and give back, right?
Yes.
Not everyone, sees the value in it, but it's good when they just give it a try and their name pops up on the wheel. And I'm like, hey, surprise, you got one. You're like, really? They
Yeah.
into, loyal customers, and I like that. Yeah.
I'm like,
Come
Dude,
on.
let's just like cut this down right now because like that's like I just feel like this. I don't know how to describe it. That's just so cool. I'm just seeing people's comments there. Like that's cool. Diamonds, very cool. Fire, you know. Yeah, very
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you.
Well, we were talking before, and I always ask people too, like, what's your message for your people? Like, what's that message, right? And you were like, just give it 100%, like, go all in on it.
Yeah. You got,
And
yeah, go ahead.
no, please, just
Yeah,
go with
I
that.
mean,
Yeah,
110% because it's if you don't give that full honest shot, you're not going to get the result that you really need. You need a result that's crystal clear to say, is this something I'm going to continue doing or not? And I've faced that when I did these, when it came to pricing and so on. But when I looked around and I saw, what, the easy route, I found out the secrets of what some people are doing and what I'm doing. I had still that fan base of and the following of people who are saying, what, I'm happy that you're sticking to just soy wax and not
yeah,
mixing it with any chemicals to make it smell a little bit more filling in the house because
you're
that's
right,
cutting a corner. And I just don't. You never know who the candle's going to, right?
right.
So why play
Yeah,
with
yeah,
So it's the result. If you don't give 110%, you're not going to get the right result. And I mean, if you give up on something and you think about it later and you say, hey, maybe I should have done a little bit more of this. I think when you ask yourself that, you didn't give 110%. You you
yes,
you sold yourself short. So your results will vary if you do. So
absolutely. Well, I mean, we're all inclined to play it safe, right? Like, I
yeah,
mean, I can give 110%, but that means that I can also fail 110%.
yeah. But you learn, right? You,
Yeah.
you you learn. You don't lose. You learn, and
Mhm.
you can talk about it. And if you find, you could always revisit it. You could put
Yeah.
that in the parking lot, park it, boom, do whatever, and then come back to it. And I think with for example, perfect example. So Ace of Spades, the gold bottle. For
Okay.
me to reconstruct that, I need to cut it. I need to take off the label. I have to peel off the label. Not many people know, but the metal around that bottle, it's not plastic, it's pewter.
Okay.
That's a very flexible metal. It's tarnishy. Medieval times, like if you look at the really worn out metal, people like pewter.
Yes.
Think about that gold look of the bottle, and later on it tarnishing and starting to go gray. I
Yes.
wouldn't want that for my business because it once was something that looked great in the clubs, and now it looks.
Yes.
How is that customer going to feel when they invest that much on it? So I had to take
Right.
that off and say, you know what, I'm not doing those right now. Let me look into how long it'll last if I keep one for myself, if I put it in a bunch of hands and see. So
Wow.
if
Yeah,
I
yeah.
make a disclaimer, at least it sets people up for success and says, hey, this is how um, to care for your candle. Those
Hmm.
things matter. I wouldn't want 5 years later for somebody to say, hey, oh, where do you get that from? Oh, this Bottleserwick. And, it kind of, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want that,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
just something like that. You got to give
Yes.
the 110, you got to get your support, your feedback to know if it's something that you want to stick around. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I use the word elite in these contexts. You know what I mean? And I say like when you say, okay, I did this, I tested this, and decided to not put it out yet, all those different things. I feel like those are the moments that set us apart. Those are the moments that make us elite because other people will just push that out. They may not pay attention to that detail. They may not look at the minutia of what they're doing to make sure that it's excellent by the time it gets in the hands of the consumer.
Right. Right. And I mean, it's a small world. That's how I kind of tell myself all the time. I'm downtown, and you run into anybody anytime. I just wouldn't want to be in that position where I run into someone and say, "Hey, man, lost your number. I've been trying to get a hold of you. This is a problem I
Yeah.
have." No, I want them to say, "Hey, I lost your number, but this is what I got going on, and I want to be part of it."
Yeah.
That's a better
Right.
feeling, you know.
True. Absolutely. It would be like me as a trainer. If everyone that came in the door, I'm like, okay, well, here's your program. It's the exact same program I gave to the last 19 people. And I didn't give any attention to detail. I just made everyone do like squats and burpees and push-ups and call it a day. Like there's no customization. There's no attention to detail. There's no setting yourself apart with the precision with what you're doing it, right?
Right. Right. Yeah, and it's you want to ask those questions, and some people have some goals that they want to set. So I mean, if it's something like core, which is super important, is the foundation. But if someone says,
Yes.
"Hey, what are you afraid of?" Like, let's
Mm.
get that because when you
Let's dive
build
deep.
that barrier, it's a new relationship you have. It's different from everyone else.
Yep.
Again, back to being different. and that's special, and nobody can take that away from you, you know?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So we hit on the successes and people asking for like, custom things and like those special orders. What have been some of your challenges to date?
So
And what has been your like, I'm done with this moment?
so I have Viet Dolly, shout out, she just joined the chat. So she asked for a Hennessy bottle, and
Okay.
she wanted it to be dyed brown like the Hennessy.
Okay.
At beginning, when people ask and a few friends asked, I was like, no, no, I'm just keeping it simple. This is what it is, and I couldn't turn it down, and I
Mm,
ended up doing it. And
okay.
the feedback was great when I gave it to her. There's others around her. I was like, hey, oh, can I get one and stuff. So that was great because at first, it was a challenge. I think I made it twice. The first time it didn't go well. Made it, was honest with her. Said, hey, it's not looking well. I'm going to try again. And
Yes. Yes.
I was patient and came through with it. And then now, the next color I recently came out with was the Bel Air bottle, which was blue.
Blue. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah,
So man, so that's good, right? So there's those challenges, and have you had people like balk at your price and been like, and you have to like justify why you're charging and stuff like that? Like how
yeah,
did you handle those
yeah.
conversations?
But it's yeah, a lot of people have in the beginning, and I've explained to them, this is the process I'm going through. It's the type of soy wax we're using is, at this grade and this level. But really, what they're paying for in the beginning is the art, is the fact that I'm manipulating the glass to be a vessel for one of their favorite bottles,
Yes.
and the smart thing, I think what I came to after that was I said, understanding something at like, the average price of a soy candle in any other glass vessel is going to be around $24. I ended up doing something where if they want to refill, one of the
Okay.
candles, they can do it for $24 because now they
Yeah.
have the vessel, right?
Right. Right.
And that's been a thing. And then now I just went into more, concrete, solid, I guess nostalgic sense. I'm actually finished working on one that smells kind of like Hennessy. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, and a mixture that turns out to smell like champagne. So rather than just going to the lavender and the coconut and stuff, these kind of scents here are going to move mountains. I'm confident in them, and that's my strong
Wow.
year. Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. That's so clever.
Thank you,
Good stuff, man.
thank you, thank you. I wish I could have got one to you before you. I saw the spread love shirt, and I was like, oh, I should have sent one to you. Then you could have been there, and
Yeah, yeah. That's good, man. It's all good. I'm definitely gonna buy one at some point too, because like that's like I actually got the spread love shirts, like these. Actually, still wearing it, but it's too cold here, so like that's right.
Gotcha.
I got them for my kids for Christmas too, right? So
Hmm.
we every year well, pre-COVID we go to the car show, and I've been doing it since they were four, like they're 18 now, right? 18 and 15. And but every year we'd have like matching shirts for the car show. So we
Yeah,
roll up, we have like Real Roots or whatever it is. So Spread Love just got into like Foot Locker and all that stuff. So I thought it'd be cool to support it. So I went online and
yeah.
bought them. And I also make it a point just for the crowds out there. Um, I don't do this to get free stuff, just for the record. I'm not trying to like on, you know what I mean? Like when I've had people on, it's great if you do that, but I try and make a point to just buy the things from the people that I talk with. I just like you're supporting their business. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's on their hustle. So anyway, so I bought them. So I'm not patting myself on the back for buying it, but like I just wanted to say that like I'm not just trying to hustle for free stuff here. Bought his
Gotcha.
gear, and so yeah, so my guys got the Young Mamba shirt and the Black Power one. There's a one with a fist, well, a one love
Yeah,
one,
that's his fist.
which
Yeah.
is cool. Yeah, yeah. So cool. So anyway, so we got those. So that was like our tradition. So I got those shirts. So I'll definitely I have a rum collection, so I'll probably send some bottles your way to see if we can make some out of those and stuff like that. So
Absolutely,
it's
absolutely. Yeah.
it's pretty cool. If anyone in the chat has any questions, like feel free to just like post them and for one. And two, for all you Pilates people or service oriented people, this is kind of like the thread of the conversation is Um, if you're like a Pilates person, I always say we're Pilates plus people. We're like fitness plus. We have multi talents and stuff like that. Just for fun in the chat, what is the other thing that you do? I know some people like flowers, or like I like working on my car, or like you have like you're hustling with your whatever side thing. I'd just love to hear what that is in the chat. Just put that up there. And while that's going on, I was gonna ask you something about the like putting out like 110%, like going all in. And actually, you know what? Let me just answer Jason's questions first.
Oh, that's a good question, actually,
Yes.
sir.
So the
Okay.
question says, have you had any accidents with a custom order?
Alrighty.
He's like, he's running to get his.
Let me go get it. Perfect. Perfect.
And Brandon, can you do square bottles as well? Like Joel's asking that as well.
Square bottles are hard, man. I mean, it's a combination of me tracing and I would say success rate is at maybe 70%, whereas everything else is at 99. I
Okay.
mean, no complaints with that, right?
Okay.
Let me plug in this bad boy. So, if we're being honest, let's talk about
Now the real talk begins, right?
plug in this bad boy here. So, this one here, limited Hennessy bottle.
Okay.
And I'm super excited about the Hennessy ones because every once in a while they come up with a nice bottle, and you know people like to save them. And I got a few custom pending orders now, and I was excited to get it done. And I was taking photos, and I was juggling two at the same time, and the bottom of one candle hit the edge of this one. So that's the result. It's done. It's finished. Everything's ready. Double wicked.
That. Oh,
Going right now. Okay, great. Sorry about that. So
that's good.
you can see it's just at the edge of chipped, and that's it. Like I can't do anything with the wax anymore. I got to throw it out. So I decided to keep it and just keep it. That's art, you know. It still needs to have its shine because
Right.
I think on social media people see all the good stuff, but they never see, you know, the fails and stuff. So I'm happy to share that, and
Right.
I'm working on my page. I'm trying to get better at it. But you can see in one of the highlights, there's a broken heart, and you can see the glasses that I've broken that shattered in my hands and stuff. And it's a
Yeah.
lesson, you know.
Did you cry, man? You're just like sit there,
Yeah.
just like
Okay, so it happened yesterday morning, and yeah, just a little bit, man, because the first thing I thought was, how many more do I have of that style, that edition of the bottle?
right.
And
Yeah.
I have one left. I had one, it was sold. I have another that broke, and now I just have one more left. So these things are really limited, and it's just something that's small like that can happen, and it didn't ruin my day because it's not a custom order. Imagine that was someone's anniversary gift, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I'm happy
Yes.
with one of mine and not someone else's. So now I know not to juggle. Don't rush. Take your time, you know, and that's that.
Yes.
Yeah. Good
One of the
question.
lines that, yeah, no, it's a good question. That, like we don't lose, we learn. I was talking with this guy around my campaign and some stuff that's coming up this year, and he had a great line that is going to be I do these Finish Strong Fridays on Fridays, and I haven't done one in a while, but this is my next one. Here's a sneak peek. Not every win is a victory, and not every loss is a defeat.
Boom. Yep. Right. Exactly. As you said it, I
Yeah.
thought back to this and I said, yeah, you know, it's not, wow, that's, you do this every week?
I used to. I do these conversations every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every Friday I'll write down a post or a thought or reflection or whatever, and it's just like my inspiration. Like finish the week strong. Like don't go crawling into the weekend.
Yeah.
Like square up and just like continue to walk into the weekend. And he said it to me last week, and I've been musing on it ever since. Like not every win is a victory, and not every loss is a defeat.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, that's good. It's something
Yeah.
more people need to hear. And I think any entrepreneur needs to keep in mind too. Yeah, there's so much pressures and tension we have because, you know, uh, a lot of young entrepreneurs, anybody who's just starting something they don't want to share what they're working on because they don't want to
Right.
fail. But, you know, it's those people around you that's going to protect, you know, that vision that you have. And, you
Right.
know, when you share that with others, they can hold you accountable for that. You know, they can remind you of those.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yep.
I'm going to take that one.
Run that, man. Run it. Run
Yeah,
with it. Because I think that it's true, right? Like in the sense that when you let your intentions be known, as you were saying,
yeah,
that's a double-edged sword. Like that is the true double-edged sword because I let my intentions be known. People are gonna come out of the woodwork that are gonna be like, "Yo, I'm with you. Let's do this. Let me know what you need. Locking arms with you. I'm your brother. We'll get this done." And then there's other people that are like, "Let's wait and see how this guy falls."
right. It'll
Right?
always be there, but yeah, that's true. There'll always be,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's so true. And but it's I think it's our part, your part, to be 110% with yourself. And intentions are so important, from yoga. That's where the importance of that I learned when I worked with Mr. Spread Love, with Jason at Lululemon back in the day. And this is
Yeah.
why he's so great at what he does, and just letting your intentions be known. And if it comes to a point where someone's not holding you accountable, you can hold them accountable for not, you know,
Yes.
for you putting that trust in them, for them not telling you and saying, hey, but you got to keep it moving. This will always happen, when you least expect it, and you can't make it be a distraction. Right? At
Right.
this time, we get really comfortable at doing a lot of things that we shouldn't be doing, that's distracting us and holding us back. But
Absolutely.
actually, I think it's one of your posts that you had where you said, was it the time is now? The time is
Yes.
now, right?
Yes.
And your time is later, or something like that. And I felt that because
Yes.
you
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
I'll recap it and then I'd love to hear what you think about that. So for those who didn't hear that, I was in a restaurant with my wife, and my intention is to run for city council here in Mississauga, later this year. And as we're at the bar, you know, I was talking with the owner and stuff. My wife's like, "Tell him that you're running for council. Tell him what you're doing this. Tell him that." And I was like, "You know what? I'll do it later. Like, I'm just building a relationship with this guy. We have all day. We can do this. I'm gonna come back. It's at the end of my street." I was making up all these excuses, and eventually, I came around. And I did have the conversation, and we did it. But when I went back to journal that night, I realized that I was making excuses because I wasn't really comfortable with my, sharing those intentions. And the words I wrote down in my journal is, "My time is later." And I keep saying later, 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 but the time is now.
Yeah.
And I was like, all
Huge.
right, I hear you. I hear you. Right.
Right?
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's those people around you, whether you're married or not, it's having someone be there, see and align with your passion so that they can push you, sometimes outside of your comfort zone, but it'll be a lesson that you learn, and that's okay. Now you learn together,
Yes.
but at least you tried, right? Because the last thing you want is to not go for it and see someone else go
Mhm.
for it.
Yes. Right.
So
Right.
many times, there's so
Yeah.
yeah,
Actually, I just got to jump in there because that's true. That one piece does burn me when I see someone jump on something that I didn't want to. But the ultimate thing for me is not reaching my potential.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing for me. Like someone else can run ahead and do something, beat me to the punch. That's fine. I can still learn from that and run after it and do it. But the
true,
thing that cuts me is when I don't reach my potential. When I actually sit back and I'm like, I settled for that. I
yeah,
didn't give 100%. Like that settling cuts me more than seeing someone else do it. Because like you can still because it's your calling. Someone else could come up with candles. They could have started candles 2 years ago, and you
yeah,
had that calling to do candles 2 years ago, and now you do it right now, and you could surpass them. And not that
yeah,
you're competing with that person, but you could surpass them because this is your vision, your passion, and you do it in your way.
right,
You'll still reach your potential. So it doesn't burn me that someone else did it. It burns
hmm
me that I didn't go for it.
right. See, yeah. I saw someone
Yeah.
else had a comment in there asking about the square bottles. I actually think I have
Yes.
one square bottle somewhere. So let me see if I can. This was one. This is actually one for myself. I'm not even trying to give that one up. So give me a
this
second.
is
Let me go get
this
that.
is a private vintage collection. Reading family is key, brand. Always got to plug yourself in any way possible. Yes, I agree with that 100%. And to be shameless in those plugs is something that I'm learning for myself too, because like what we're doing is important. We're all on mission, right? So I think that's really key.
So
Okay, the square bottle. Wow, with
right.
the sake.
So this is Japanese whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, it's this one smells like. sandalwood, and
Okay.
I decided to keep it because it's square. Yeah, I try to keep it plain and simple.
Just
You
it's
know,
so dope. Yes.
yeah. Anything I don't
Yeah.
come across, that often, I kind of like to keep for myself because I think I see myself, in the future doing something like, let's say, a market or something. Like I really wanted to take part in like a Christmas market or some type
Right.
of sort of market, and it would be good to, have a line behind me to say, hey, this is what I do, instead of, only a few.
Yes.
And I want people to use their imagination and say, okay, what's the craziest bottle that I can get
I
done?
could,
You know,
yes.
I don't mind
Brooke
if they
Siler,
ask me.
sorry, Brooke Siler just jumped into the chat there. Can you do just a quick replay for those who just joined us right now? Just show some of the bottles and what you've
Yeah,
done again.
for sure, for
This
sure.
is this is like 20 minutes ago we did this. So I'd like just for a few who just jumped into the chat, just check these out.
All right.
These are so these are so hype. These are so
You have
cool.
the VSOP Hennessy, right? And I got it right here,
Candle.
right?
Wood wick candle.
So
That's what's up.
I got those there. You have the Casamigos.
Casamigos.
So I got that there,
Nice.
right? Boom, boom. Very hard one, but the
Ooh.
1942, the baseball bat looking bad boy there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and another thing, even down to the logo.
Yes.
If you look closely at the logo, it's showing, the club, the bottles being held in the air, and then one in the middle is the candle.
Yes.
So that's
Oh,
the same
nice.
thing. So I put them under him, so when you're holding it, it's the same.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
To relive that moment. Oh, Hendrix, if you like gin,
Okay, gin. There you go, Brooke, your English gin.
boom, double wicked up. That's lavender. Lavender is so good.
It is.
Uh,
On the sidebar, who would think to see two brothers excited about candles on,
I know,
like,
right?
on his tour? Yeah,
Right.
nice.
So yeah, wooden wicks, they crackle. It's soy wax. It's safe, burns much better, longer, cleaner. A test for anybody out there that thinks they have a soy wax candle. If you look on the side of your glasses
Yes.
of the vessel, if it's really dark, it's
Okay,
most likely blended, or it's probably not a soy wax candle.
there you
It's
go.
supposed to burn clean and clear, right? So even something like this limited edition Evian, uh, it's a designer. I can't say
Okay.
her name, but the eye,
Yes.
the side is, you can see through it, right?
Yes.
So some of these things I keep for myself to burn them because I know I can empty them out and reuse them again and then let them go. But I want to
Yes.
see how they burn. And yeah, again, passionate about it. Just the Hennessy one, double wicked up, have
Yeah.
that. And my favorite, again, is the Dom Perignon. And that's all, the
That's
label,
clean too, man. Look at those edges too. Like that is like so well done. That's
right?
craftsmanship.
And it's cool because even when you're finished, burning it and the wax is out, you can make it a planter pot. If you're into
Oh,
plants,
right.
now you got a fancy plant, right? So
Right.
use your imagination, but it's endless with these kind of things. And my
Right.
biggest are always the jumbo glass bottles. Also have. Ooh, here we go. That's a big. Where is that? So you got the small, which is the regular size, and then this is the
Wow.
5 liter. So double wick, one wick. But I love it, man.
Those
It's
are amazing. Yeah, they are.
yeah,
Do you
it's good.
ship internationally? People are asking. Brooke's asking there.
So yeah, funny enough, I'm getting into that. This is crazy. I'm looking at it right now. I have a bag of those biodegradable peanuts. So why not keep
Okay.
the whole sustainability thing going? So rather than
Right.
get packing peanuts that don't dissolve and they're bad for the earth, you have these ones that you can put underwater and it dissolves and stuff. So I'm working on shipping now.
Okay.
So that's definitely something happening in the future. Canada-wide is what's happening probably about next month.
Yes.
One of these, the company's Siempre Tequila, I'm sending
Yes.
something to them, I think this week. So yeah,
Okay.
they're excited about getting it, and I'll see how that ships out to them, and if they receive it in well shape and everything, then everybody else can get theirs as well. Yeah, in motion, man. I got a lot going on.
Man, this I love. I have such appreciation for craftsmanship, for creativity. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one thing to just like make a candle, but it looks like it's really well done craftsmanship wise too. Like those
Right,
edges. Like I think of one of your notes, like they're a drinkable glass basically. Like
right,
that's how
right. I
smooth
mean,
the edges, right?
that's most likely the next thing I'm going to do in the spring. When I worked on this is one from a restaurant I went to. It's a really big one. It's actually the tallest one I have. So if you
Okay. Wow.
right.
Yes.
So this is a dessert wine, Japanese dessert wine, imported, big bottle,
Yeah.
and I ended up cutting it, but I didn't put too much wax in it because I want it because it's a frosted glass. I want it
Yes.
to kind of have a bit of a glow.
Yeah. True.
Let me show you that on live. Let me just,
Okay.
you know,
This guy's like with the serious like no lighters here. Like wood.
right. So
Yes, Brooke's happy to empty some bottles for you too. It's,
right. So you can see it kind of glowing.
look at this.
Yeah, fun stuff, man. I mean,
What?
you don't have to put too much wax in there for it to just pull that glow, but the idea is just for it to do that. And
Right.
again, it's endless. That's what I do in my spare time. If there's something I can't do, I'm just like, let's figure out how to do it. So
Wow.
thank you.
So, yeah, no, I like congratulations. Love your passion. Just seeing all the comments here. I'm happy to empty some bottles for you too. Family is key brand. Yes, message me after. I'd love to have you on talk about your brand. Um, so cool. Sarah's in the UK. She's saying so cool. Brooke's a tequila girl.
There you go. Wow, y'all like tequila, huh?
Uh,
Wow.
so dope. Yeah, those are good. So here's the question. Now, if we kind of just like take a step, we've talked about like challenging our fears and like just like dealing with the fear of demise and all those different things. We talked about just the technical part of the bottle itself.
Hmm.
How do you scale this? How do you make this bigger? Do you get people in? Like when do you say, okay, you know, I'm going for this. I'm quitting my day job. Or we're you know, like what's the next steps and what does that look like for you?
So it's funny.
Or
I mean,
sorry, sorry, but sidebar, just to stay a hobby and just kind of take your time with it and limited, just
no,
trickle them out, sort of
it's.
thing.
I think it's wherever everyone else wants it to go, right? I mean, if people like it that much,
Hmm.
they're
Hmm.
gonna reach out, and that's what I've been seeing a lot, saying, "Hey, can you do this? Can you do that?" And that's a challenge, and them knowing, the personality and my drive is there, my passion's there, and I'm not gonna say no to something. I never thought of shipping out, and now all of a sudden here I am getting these packing peanuts, and the internet's a beautiful tool to use. You can Google almost anything and everything, and I'm seeing that others are what they're doing to make their craft even easier, whether it's making this in larger batches because I only do small batches, and then
Yes.
putting them aside, having them cure on a rack, and then shipping them out. So I'm taking a bit of those best practices, and
Hmm.
soon I'll be shipping. And I think if it gets me to a point where I could get some more hands to help because it's just a one man show, then yeah, it might be something that'll be a full time thing. But I
Right.
think the big challenge is it's not like anyone else who can just buy 100 bottles and just fill them. This is each bottle has been a challenge,
Right.
right?
How
So,
hours or time wise, how much time would you spend prepping a bottle for fill?
oh man,
Average.
about 40 minutes. 40
Okay.
minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes is from I think I'd like to say start to finish one by one, but because I do more of an assembly line,
Hmm.
that's my educated guess on them. So
Yeah.
when I'm pouring a few at a time, but you still have to cut them, you still have to sand it down, you're still disinfecting them, you're still heating them up. All those little things in the middle that nobody really talks about to make sure the
Yeah.
pour is right
Yeah.
is important. And then down to just finishing it. Once it's finished, you want to make sure the top is smooth. So you're gonna, heat up the top and everything. And then it has to sit and cure for a day or two, right? So and that's one. So you got to do a
That's
few
one.
at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but it's so therapeutic, you know,
I could
because temperature
imagine.
is important, all of that is. And when
Yeah.
it's finished, it's like, wow, it's like, it's like we're growing up making cakes and all of that stuff and seeing how it comes out of the oven and oh wow, they're rising. But this is like to someone who likes plants, you got to pay attention to everything, the amounts that
Yes.
you're putting in, if it sweats, if it doesn't. So I really get geeked out on this, but I'm always pushing myself to the limit to for that one person that's going to challenge me.
Yeah. Wow. That is crazy. I'm impressed, Brandon. Like that's like I thought it was cool just looking at it and just hearing your passion. It's just like, how do we bottle that passion? Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. Like how do we that's a
I think
challenge. Like I love when people are that passionate about stuff.
I think best practices is always it's about yourself and it's also about the ideal customer that you want to serve. And I think once you start to
Right.
build that community of customers you have, that whole community keeps you moving. When you're like, oh, this is the guy that likes
Yes.
the whiskey that costs $1,000, the super expensive bottle and whatever. Once you make something that important and you successfully do it, then you have that off your list. Then you have the
Yes.
wine connoisseur, the real estate agent, all of that. And then when you think about them all at the same time, you think about every one of them at the same time. That's what keeps me going. It's like, wow, I've done it for
Yeah.
someone who just got engaged, someone who just bought a house, another person who got a house and got, had a baby on the day when it was done. Like those little things matter. Somebody who would
Good
drive
man.
so far,
Yeah.
wants to fly out with it, all those things. And you'll never forget them because it's that personal touch. When they
Yes.
see it and they smell it and they say, wow, like this is my downtime. I could like this and I could sit. And I think the funniest part is most people get these and they don't want to burn them. As soon as they get them, like, no, I don't want to burn it. I just want to leave it. Don't worry.
Right.
So I'm like, burn it. You gotta burn it.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
it.
Yes. We gotta have like some like cheap alcohol that they could burn and like you keep the ones just for on show, right? Like,
Right? Exactly. It's
yeah.
it's 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 wild the amount of like this. Yeah, there's been some wild bottles and stuff that I've got. I have some imported stuff that just came in now too that I'm gonna work on. So that's exciting. So,
Man, that's there's another comment. Brooks comment here is like, oh, you can make microwave brownies in them too. I guess.
yo, but let's be real. Why not? Right? Why
Right.
not? Why not?
Yeah.
So, and that's as crazy as it sounds. I mean, that's the thing in the spring that I plan on doing is just saying, hey, you know what? Let's talk about, planting and stuff like that and doing some posts with that and
Yep.
seeing where it goes. Some people don't drink and that's okay. But when they like how these bottles look and they say, well, if I'm not a drinker, how do is there a water
Yeah.
bottle you
So,
can do or whatever? But what if you name the plant, you name a plant Hennessy,
yeah.
This, hey.
Yes. Man, I love your passion for this. This is that's inspiring for whatever it is that you put your hands to for everyone who's out there, whether you're service industry or product or you have something in the back of your head. Any other words of wisdom for someone who has a vision for something that they want to just like get it going, but they haven't mustered the courage to make a move?
Just go for it. Go for it. Do your research. The internet's your best friend. You can Google almost anything, right? And get your answers. Reviews are great. If you YouTube it, you see what people have to say about what they've experienced when they've done a lot of things. And keep track, document these things,
Okay.
document your wins, your losses, so you can revisit them and see if you can turn those lessons into wins, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And just communicate that to a small group of friends so they can keep you accountable.
Yeah.
That's super important. No different than
Nice.
if me and you are training. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I have one of my best friends. He's Nicholson. He's playing basketball right now
Okay.
in
Yeah, I
Korea.
see him there.
He
Yeah.
holds me really accountable when it comes to fitness goals and stuff. And hey, what are you doing about this? And how are you feeling? And what's for breakfast and stuff. Because he sees my stories in the morning when I wake up early and what I do, and he's like, "Did you have your shake yet?"
Yes.
And it's those little things that say, "Oh yeah, I need to turn off for a minute and take care of
Right.
me, and then go back to the people and stuff." And
Good
it's
man.
people out there like that
Yes.
that
Yes.
keep you going.
Yes.
You know.
No, I appreciate that because, like, as a trainer, I've said in the past that I'm guilty of this, where it's almost like I believe in the person more than they believe in themselves.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like you're cheering
mm,
them on and you see the potential and you're just trying to keep people pushing towards the potential when they don't feel like it. So it's good to have people in your corner that see where you're going and can keep you on track with that and just kind of help, steer you back on when those distractions come. So like you're saying, having Nicholson in your corner, having these people that just see you and believe in you are so key, man. So likewise, man, I'm in your corner, man, cheering you on
mm.
from a
Thank you.
distance. I'm so glad I was able to have you on, even though, we're not talking plies, we're
Yeah,
talking something else. Like it's all passion, it's all grit, 100%. So I love
thank
this.
you. Yeah, man. Super happy to be here. It's great to see everyone commenting and asking questions. Don't be shy. You could slide in the DMs and ask me anything. Send me photos of a bottle. Ask me if I can do it, and we'll work on a pickup, a drop off, and
Yep.
we'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's funny. I see bottles differently now. People go and party like, "Oh, whoa, you got this," and I'm like, "But is it empty yet? Can I have it?" It's crazy.
Right.
It's
Yes.
crazy. It's funny,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just how I see things now. Yeah.
That's awesome. There you go. Yeah, so definitely it'd be fun to do tutorials on how you do it. Like for people who are like on the other side of the world who want to jump into this
Yeah.
sort of thing and just like you could probably make a whole business and just teach people how to
Just
do
teaching
it
how, right?
because the reality is, and as like we're closing up, but I just had another thought. When you have a vision for something, you can give someone your entire blueprint
Yep.
and they still can't do it your way.
Right. Right. And I mean, it's like it's before when I worked before Lululemon, I worked at Apple, and it was all about getting that sale is more important to educate the person so they can see the
Yes.
value and then spend the thousands on the computer or whatever it is. And I think
Right.
that's where it is that's the next thing as well. It's just educating on how they can do that. Either I'm doing it online or doing it in a workshop, something. But I definitely want people to, see what it's like to make something of their own and you know, yeah, it's a great idea. Now, and
All
from
good.
you, I think you mentioning it too, and it's something I parking lot and didn't really share with many people in the back. Now I'm hearing you say it. It's kind of like, okay, it's good to that he's thinking of that now because I'm almost there. It wasn't something in the very beginning, but it's something
Right.
at that point now because so much has been established. So
Yeah, man,
there
this
we
is
go.
gonna. I'm excited to see where this is gonna go. I'm sure everyone watching too is gonna be like, I watched that guy when he was just 6 months in.
I got a
Right.
bottle right here. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Totally. I'm gonna be ordering one like just now. Actually, you know what's funny? From the time I moved, I have literally a bag of empty rum bottles because I was like, oh, I should totally do something with these. So
Mm.
like, that might be my post later to see what happens with that. So
Hey, let's do it.
let's do it. All right, man. Thank you so much. Thank you also to everyone in the chat. It's so amazing to just see all these people coming out and just cheering you on, Brandon. Like, you're doing it,
Yes,
man. You're doing some great work.
hit me up, Brooke.
So, yes, definitely. All right, sign you off, man. I'll send you the replay for this as well later. And
Yes,
yeah, let's keep it going.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thank you.
you so much. Take
All
care,
right,
everybody.
take care.